3 proven methods for gaining self-discipline. Today, I'm with Master Lim, and we've been working together for a while now. And the thing about self-discipline is very interesting because both of us are not the natural disciplined people, but we are able to get results because of these 3 things. So we're dying to share with you. And let me tell you something, this guy phenomenal because at the age of 21,
22 now.
22 now, quit his job last year, went on to this whole journey, went out to, I remember within like the first month or second month or something, went out to America, collected like £15,000 or something, or $15,000 that day, right?
Yep, one day.
Just based on how we practice this self-discipline. If you're like any of us and we have this creative flow, we like to go out there, sometimes we chat a bit of shit and stuff, right? Isn't that right?
A lot of shit.
It's something like that. But we are still able to get results because there is an element, would we agree there's an element?
Yeah, there's an element
of self-discipline there. So I decided to bring Master Lim into this conversation just to share with you how we are able to do that and what we have modeled from the most successful people in the world. But before we get into that, show reel.
Hit it. People have today isn't that they're struggling, isn't that they can't get out of their shit. It's because the shit that they're in isn't big enough. And why I say that is because if that shit was big enough right now, if the people had a gun pointed to their head, they would actually get their ass moving. Always understand that emotions is what leads to motion. It's energy in motion. So if your emotional drive is not strong enough, you're not going to do anything to get out of it.
What's up guys, this is Erico here, international speaker, entrepreneur and best-selling author, and today we're here with a special guest, a colleague of mine who I've been working with, a business partner, and we've been like literally rocking it all around the world together for the past, I don't know how long now.
Year.
If you can't recognize the accent, that is a Chinese accent.
What?
It's not a Chinese
What?
accent.
I'm Irish, right?
It's an Irish accent.
Irish accent. The best accent.
Anyway, so I decided to bring Master Lim onto this show today because when we're talking about self-discipline, I'm presuming that you're looking to be more, self-disciplined.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes even us, we struggle with this type of thing too, but it's these 3 things that we kind of stick to that really keep us in line to get results. And so we thought we'll put a video together just to share with you today. And the first thing is what we call the hard, easy method. And what does that mean? It means like, let's say for example, the natural person out there, right? Do you think they do the hard stuff? Like for the people who are watching this video right now, do you think they do the hard stuff first or the easy stuff first?
Easy stuff.
Without fail, everybody always does the easy stuff first. Why?
Because it's most convenient, it's most like, they think they're getting more stuff done by extracting it off their list. Yeah.
And this is a very powerful method because most people, when they wake up in the morning, they'll choose all the easy tasks. And what actually happens is the day kind of passes by, it gets to like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then near the end of the day, and what do you usually do? Do you usually think then to do the hard stuff, or is probably that thought of,
that I've done so much today already,
let's do it tomorrow, right? And then kind of tomorrow never comes because tomorrow's another day, and it just keeps rolling over. Now that becomes a big problem because the next day it's likely that you'll still repeat the same thing, right? Because you'll still do the easy stuff first. Now what actually happens is, this is called stress stacking. Every single day you're actually pushing all of the hard tasks for the next day, and then you're stacking all of the stress up, and that's why a lot of people get so stressed out in today's world. And so what hard easy method is about flipping the formula around. When you wake up in the morning, make it your task to actually do the hard stuff first, because if you do the hard stuff first, what happens is your days get easier and easier. And I think this is the first step to actually self-discipline. Why? Because let's say for example, a lot of the time if you think about it, the things that you feel is the hard task is actually, it doesn't take too long. It's a phone call that you're dreading, that you really don't want to make, right? It's this email that you didn't want to reply because it's someone you don't want to reply. But then a lot of these tasks are actually like 3-minute tasks, 5-minute tasks, and you will find if you practice, make it your effort, stick it on your wall. Those of you who are used to my videos, comment below hard, easy, so you instill that in your learning on a subconscious level. Because when you get into the routine of doing hard things first, you'll find that within the first half an hour of your day, within the first hour of your day, all of the hard stuff is done, and then your days get easier and easier and easier. Now imagine that for a second. And anyway, so we're going to move on to the second point, and I'm going to ask Master Lim to talk about this one because we actually really, we spent quite a few hours discussing this and saying how powerful it is. So I'll let you lead it.
Yeah. So the second point that we're going to discuss here is what's known as habitual forming, right? And some of you might think, now what does that actually mean? I've heard the term before, but habitual forming is constantly doing something over and over and over again until you master it, right? What we see is that there's so many people out there who try to do something once, and after it doesn't go the way that they want it to go, they end up just pushing it to one side and then jumping on to the next task, right? And some people say that's either it's not for me or that's not for me right now. However, that's how you self-discipline yourself, is by constantly pushing yourself to do that thing over and over and over again, right? And I'm sure you can probably relate as well. There's been many things in your career where you've tried to do things and it's been really uncomfortable. But what you teach is that the more you keep doing the things that are uncomfortable, that's whenever they become eventually comfortable, right? The exact same way is we share this, and we've put this actually into a module, into a practice that we teach our students, is that for those of you who drive right now, right, I'm sure you can think of your very first driving lesson that you done. I'm sure it did not go as perfectly smooth as the way you drive right now, right? But the more you keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again, you keep practicing that, you keep practicing the gear sticks, looking in your mirror, indicating, right? I'm sure for those of you who've been driving over 2 years, 5 years, 10 years now, it's just smooth as ever. You don't even remember when you get yourself into the car, right? And that's what's known as habitual forming, and you can implement that into your business, into your life, into your relationships, into every area of your life. And that will allow you to develop that self-discipline, right?
I think the key thing is to understand that that we're creatures of habit. And what happens is, if we get ourselves to actually practice the uncomfortable, and understand that once we practice the uncomfortable over and over again, then it takes it from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind, then it becomes a part of you. So you will no longer procrastinate, because in fact, if you didn't do it, so after you formed the habit, if you didn't practice the discipline stuff, you actually feel uncomfortable. So it becomes a part of you, So I think that's very, very important. So anyway, we're going to move on to point number 3. Point number 3 is burning the boats. What as ironically, Chinese people have this saying that if you want to take the island, burn the boats. What does this mean? It means don't allow yourself that option to even move back or go backwards. You can only go forwards. And for example, what type of practices do you think they can do to actually burn the boats?
Well, for burning the boats, it's a lot of letting go. There's so many people who try to control things. They've made one decision and then they start rethinking over and over and over again. If I were to say to you, you're faced with a situation right now where you need to go through either door A or door B. If you choose door A and you go through that door, that's the door that you're going down right now, right? That's you essentially burning the boat, as you like to call it. You've closed that door behind you and you're on that path, right? But it's just being able to stick on that path without thinking, oh, what would have happened if I went down through door B, right? And by sticking on that path, setting yourself up for, this is the route that I've chosen, this is where I'm going, I've burned the bridges behind me, I've let go of all the negativity, I've let go of all the doubt, I've let go of all the what people think of me. You just have to filter that stuff out if you want to move forward and you want to progress in life, right?
I think there's a few things that I've got used to over the years in terms of burning boats, and I think we do this a lot as well, especially when we're speaking on stages around the world, is that we make public declarations. You tell people what you are about to do, and the most important thing is you tell the people who you know that if you didn't do it, they're going to point the finger at you and say, you see, I knew you weren't going to do it. So they're the people you tell, because it kind of, when you practice and get into the habit also of burning the boats, whenever you make a decision, whenever you set a goal to burn the boats every single time, to make that public declaration, to tell people around you, then you get your outer world your outer circle to actually hold you accountable in that way, and because you know that you don't want to fail in that. Or another option is for things like taking a big action where it actually, you know, scares you so much. For example, like taking out a big business bank loan, for example. You know, there's like no way out of that. Your only way is to go forward and make it successful. Or, you know, some people talk about, oh, I'm thinking of starting a business, I'm thinking about quitting a job. Well, what about stop thinking about quitting the job? What about if you actually just draft up the email and just hit that send button? Although it's hard, you feel the pain, but you do it anyway, but then you burn the boats. There's no way back. You can only go forward. And this happens in every area of your life, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in business, whether it's whatever. Just hit that stop button. Make sure that you have no way of going back. And when you have no way of going back, you will surely find that way forward and actually progress towards wherever that destination is for you. And I think on that final note, I think we're pretty much done. Yeah. Tomorrow, we are flying off to Malaysia. So we've got an event out there, Wealth Academy, and we're gonna do vlogs and stuff like that, keep you guys you know, you just stay tuned, make sure to watch it all. And by the way, if you want to check out Master Lim, I'm going to put a channel below. He's got a channel. There's also another channel which is called Keeping Up with the Academy. If you're not following that already, make sure to subscribe to that channel, because it's our academy that we run and you see all the behind the scenes. We have a lot of fun, and yeah, you'll enjoy it. But anyway, guys, this is, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure to comment below, let us know where you guys have tuned in from. And finally, remember, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button and the notifications button next to it, because now I'm committed to making daily videos to hold you accountable and make 2018 your best year yet. But for now, ciao.
See ya.
Of course it's good. Always good.
Now we have to go to Newcastle.
Yep.
Here, did you get all these new lights then? Did these all come in?